First Watch with Sheriff Mark Daniels on KWCD Bisbee Sierra Vista, hosted by Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
And welcome to your Friday. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, Cochise County.
And so we're here today. Again, we're in our new studio, and Grady's messing with the microphone, so I don't know if I'm live. Are we good? Okay, perfect. So, again, good morning, Cochise County. And let's talk about Bowie Fire. That's a really big issue right now.
It's a huge issue, but before we do that, Grady's like a little kid with this new, they fixed his, what is this thing called?
That's the board. Yeah.
The board.
The board.
He's all excited. He's over there. Heck with the show today. We're going to work on the board.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys talk. I'm going to play with buttons.
I love it, man. So going back to Bowie, yeah, what a sad situation. But it's an ongoing situation in the fact that we've been down this road before. That's what's sad. And the water company has mechanical issues, what I understand. Please correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I'm going to head up there today to see how everybody's doing. But we got some water to them yesterday, and then Walmart came through, right, Carol?
They did. So Cochise County Emergency Services, Dan is busy with some stuff, so Deputy Director Alberta Chavez has been working on that. And they notified him early in the morning that they didn't have water in Bowie. And it was a mechanical issue, and they didn't know how long it was going to take, but at least until Friday. So you have to understand there's about 350 homes impacted in that area, and they have swamp coolers. They're older houses, and you can't run a swamp cooler without water. And so if you have people there, you need cooling stations. The logistics of that included getting water or rehab to the people who live there. And so Albert went ahead and made contact with the Safeway in Wilcox, and they were able to donate a good amount of water. And then we suggested Walmart in Benson because they've been amazing at helping us with different things. Yeah. And so their manager there, Katie, she was able to Albert purchased a pallet, which is a lot of water, and they donated a pallet of water. So in talking to her about additional resources, Bowie Fire, Marty up there, do an amazing job. People from our health have been up there and do an amazing job helping. And they have porta potties, they have washing stations, they have the library open for a cooling station or a cooling center. They have the fire department open. But Walmart didn't leave it at that. They figured this is going to be an ongoing situation. We don't even know if the water's going to be back on today. So Walmart actually from Benson contacted. They have kind of an emergency operations center in Arkansas. So they contacted them, and they shipped out yesterday by semi, they arrived last night, 20 pallets of water for that community. So that's working well with, our infrastructure that we have locally, and just seeing that type of dedication to keep our citizens safe.
And I remember in the past, and first of all, kudos to Walmart. I mean, kudos for stepping up. I know they've done that in the past. Make sure Safeway, again, Safeway was another one. But this has happened in the past, and I remember 2 or 3 times going up there and actually going door to door, especially on the elderly, and checking on those folks that they lost power, they lost water up there. I mean, on and on. So I feel bad for these people, but again, this is where we come together. This is what government's all about, and in a time of need, we're there for them. So thanks to Dan from Emergency Services, and my deputies have been up there helping out every day. And again, I'm heading up there today just to make sure that we're showing some support for these folks. That's a rough thing. It's 100 degrees out there.
It is. The heat is a significant factor, and so regardless of where you're at in Cochise County, try to check on your neighbors. Just making sure that they're doing okay.
Speaking of Safeway, did you see that if this merger goes through, we might lose our Sierra Vista Safeway? And that's been an iconic story here as long as I've been here, the 4 decades plus. And so it's sad to read that. I mean, again, every time we lose something, it's harder to get it back.
It is. And so who knows what they're going to make of that.
I know. And it's the business world driving communities, and it's too bad because what about they've been here so long. I mean, that's a dedicated store. Remember Tony, who ran it for years over there, is always giving back to the community, worked a lot of community projects with him. So it was just sad reading that. There's some sad news this week. That would be a big one.
Well, and we're a food desert. So now people, even in the outlying areas, you have Dollar Trees popping up, you have Dollar Generals popping up, and that's just to maybe alleviate some of this issue where you can't get to another location to purchase food. So if we lose a major store, then what?
Oh yeah, they're a major distributor for us. And what'd you call it? Food desert?
Yeah, we're in a food desert.
That's really
Yeah.
good. So I learn something every show with Carol. She's always got these little terms. That's good. I like it.
So what else have we been doing?
Well, we need to talk about the Lone Star fire because everybody can see the haze in the air, and if you got rain, it kind of mixed with all that smoke, and your car probably looks pretty nasty right now.
It does, and dust.
Yes.
Dust was miserable.
Oh, yeah, that rain, that little bit of rain. In fact, Chief Barry's with us. He's going to be on the show here in a few minutes from Wichita City. He pulled up this morning in his car. It's a white Dodge Charger, and it looks brown. I hate to tell the chief that. He's got a brown car today.
Yeah,
But
and that's already 258 acres. So, we're fortunate that it's not around a populated area. We're fortunate that we have such comprehensive working relationships with all of the fire personnel, of all the state, of all the federal, just jumping on board with, trying to keep everybody safe with that fire. So good on them.
Well, yeah, that smoke, especially yesterday, kind of took a lot of people by surprise. In fact, we had a social debate there on our Facebook.
We
and
did.
Carol, you
Fog?
authored
Fog?
that debate. I mean, put fog out there. And just so nobody says, well, the sheriff's wrong or Carol's wrong, Gree's wrong. What's the definition of fog, Grady?
Fog is particulates in the air that gather, and there's moisture, and that's what's happening right now.
It truly is. I like the little technical side of you. It's really good. I can challenge that sometimes. But yes, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's fog, smoke. Come on. It's either way. It's a visibility challenge.
And we got, go ahead, Carol.
No.
We got a little microburst that hit, speaking of the monsoon seasons, and I was at the office, and I just heard this all over the roof, and then I looked out the window, and I saw that we had lost one of our trees, and it was on top of one of our new vehicles, and I panicked. But the vehicle's fine.
It is, and in fact, I was downtown teaching at the college this week for some leadership course as well. I came through the college pretty hard, and within the next day, I went over there and saw the tree laying there, and the truck just got delivered. It's just got the lights put on it. It's parked over our new border operations center, and here's this decent-sized tree that fell over on top of it, and amazing. It just has a small dent. Amazing. Truck had 600 miles on it, and he just pulled in, parked it, and here comes that microburst. But again, you just never know.
And also with weather and everything going on, we've got sinkholes. So we had one reported off of East Parker Ranch Road, which is outside of Sunsites, and I know it's a remote area, but that also generated interest. It's doesn't look like much. It kind of looks like a pothole in front of Target, but it is serious. I know. I couldn't resist.
That's the old west of Sierra Vista.
Yes.
Every time I get a I got to divert for just a second. Every time I get a visitor, it's like I remember who were these people? They're VIPs from somewhere. I can't remember where. We were coming through there, and they made the comment, "Boy, your road's rough." I said, "It's part of the old West feel. It's kind of the old West, There's something to be said. They ought to just put historic signs up there. Welcome to the old West, and might as well get some flavor out of this for at least another 6 months, or how long it's going to take to get this fixed."
And it's a state road. I just want to say that because I was in a meeting on Wednesday and brought that up to the city, and they love when I do that. You can tell by the eye rolls. But yeah, it's not a city project.
No.
It's a state project, so everybody needs to know that.
And I'm going to say something that's probably not correct, but I'm good at that. It is the fact that if this was downtown Phoenix, do you really think this road would look like that? What I mean by that is ADOT is responsible for that. Now, I'm picking on ADOT, but bottom line is that's ridiculous to get this bad. I mean, that road is bad. It'll throw you all over the place. And really, you look at a safety issue on a motorcycle, on that, wow. It's just, everybody's talking about that road. It's just amazing we got that bad. So, yeah, it's not the city's issue. This is a ADOT state issue. So, yeah, but the Old West, get a feel when you go through there.
Sheriff Mark Daniels loves dogs, and you had another dog adventure.
Well, I was going to an event in Benson. I had Chief Tom Molina with me and Commander Kenny Bradshaw. So we're coming up by Loves on 90. Here comes this black dog, it's Chow, coming down into traffic. And when you see that, and cars are going 65, 55, and here comes the dog coming, splitting the lane, running south in the northbound lane, and then cuts right and left. Cars are hitting brakes, and it's a horrible feeling because you're going to see this dog get hit. So we turned the lights on, stopped. Some people stopped, and people are good about this. That's one thing I got to say. When it comes to animals, people come together. So we're all trying to get this dog contained. You got semis coming down the road, and it's like, oh, this ain't good. 2 miles south of where we're at, the dog had gone under a car that we had stopped. The driver did not see it and started to pull away, and almost went up. It went up over the back, and we're like, stop! And But the dog was fine. We got it back to the owner thanks to the Benson Animal Control officer came out and helped us. And but yeah, that was a scary. That dog has 10 lives. I'm just going to say that. It took over the cats. It's got 10 lives because that dog, well, yeah, it missed some bullets that day.
And you've been busy. You were on your way to Paul Moncada's funeral. And
Yes.
we talked about that last week, Chief of Police for Benson, and he passed away, unfortunately. And so you were on your way over there to make sure we paid our respects because they had asked for that help.
Yeah, I went to Chief Mercado's funeral, and I've worked with Paul my whole career. Paul was the longest-serving law enforcement in Cochise County. And what's ironic, he served in the same agency his whole career. That's so rare nowadays. But either way, it was a very nice service. Thank you for the family for allowing us to be there and support Paul, support them, and just support the community. I mean, a police chief is a community chief, and a sheriff's a community sheriff. And if they're not, then something's wrong. And so Paul served that community for 46 years. That's a long time. I mean, it truly is. So rest in peace, Paul. I mean, and again, just the amount of time, service, and the headaches I mean, people think, well, it's just a great job he had. No, we as chiefs and sheriffs and just police officers, deputies, and troopers and agents, I mean, tough job nowadays. It's a very tough job. So thank you, Paul, for your service, and thank you to the family.
We need to give a shout-out to Wilcox for their softball team.
We do. The 10 to 12 softball, the girls softball. It's kind of the Little League. It's the sister to the Little League program. As you remember, last year they went all the way, I think, to the regionals, made it on ESPN. It was really cool. And if I'm messing that up when it comes to where they're placing, but they did amazing. And this year they're back at the state championship here in Arizona. Something tells me they're going to win it. And then they're going to move back into those regionals again. So maybe we get the opportunity at one of our county hometown schools in Wilcox to see them on ESPN again. And so it's just exciting. I mean, kudos to the coaches over there. Kudos to the community over there. And I'll say this. We got our charity ride coming up. We just met yesterday, and they were one of our selectees again, is the quarterback club for Wilcox. Now, you're probably saying, well, that's football. It is. That's the title, but it goes to all the youth over there that play sports. So this is, again, another way of we, the Sheriff's Office, working in a partnership with our community and our sponsors to give money back. So that was a recipient. They don't even know that. So if somebody from Wilcox is driving through today saying, oh, that's neat, you can go back and say. But
so when are we going to officially say who the recipients are?
Well, that I'm just giving a tease on the first one.
There you go.
But it brought up that thought. So, but yeah, they were selected as one of the ones we're gonna donate to here in November. So, but kudos to that girls softball team and the coaching and the parents. What a fun time for all that.
It definitely is. And on the other side of our county in Douglas, had a situation yesterday that finally ended up with the person who was setting the fires to those churches, which was an amazing loss for Douglas. Those have been there for 100 years, over, and you just can't repair something like that. You just can't. But he was convicted of 6 counts of arson.
And the criminal justice system worked. Let me just say that. It worked. I mean, that block where the churches were, those 2 churches that burned, I think it was 2 that burned, correct, on that was in the Guinness Book of World Records, because that's 4 churches on each corner in the same block with different denominations. So, but to see that destruction at the hands of evil, let's just call it what it is, at the hands of evil, and that's an attack on community, and it's a violent attack. So again, he got what he asked for, he got what he deserves. The criminal justice system worked, and we'll see what the sentencing is. So what a shame, though, at the end of the day, those churches are gone.
Well, we're in a new fiscal year, and the budget has been approved, and we're ready to move forward.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout-out on that. I mean, every year we spend so much time, all the elected offices, the departments, Rich Karwashka and Sharon Gilman, and our finance people, both in the Sheriff's Office along with the county finance, putting a budget together that's good for the people and it's good for our offices and departments. So I want to thank Ann English. I want to thank Peggy Judd for supporting that. They voted again to support us. Those 2 have carried us for the last 4 years when it comes to supporting our budget. And everybody's like, well, you make money. You make all. Come look at our budgets. Come look at it. There's nothing to hide here. I mean, we supplement our budget about 40% of it, especially on the personnel side, when it comes to outside funding. I mean, and you can talk to Chief Barry here, who's going to be on here in just a minute. He'll tell you the same thing. He retired from us. I mean, there ain't no cop out there getting rich. They put their lives on the line. I don't care if it's Service PD, Bisbee PD, any of us out there for what we get paid for, and that goes for our sports staff. The only ones that never complain about budget or pay is our volunteers. I got to throw that out there. They never do. They just come with a smile. They come with a passion. But so I want to thank Ann English and Peggy Judd for just stepping up again, seeing the reality of what we're dealing with, and making this happen. Now there's some stuff they got to pass coming up here, but overall that we're on the right path. So I want to make sure I give those two a shout out.
And some of the things that we've been trying to do to highlight or showcase Cochise County again, and some of our challenges and some of the amazing things that have been going on here include visits from people. So we had 2 visits this week alone. We had Pete Flores, who's the Deputy Commissioner from Washington, D.C. for CBP. He and his crew came down yesterday with the local leadership from Border Patrol out of the Tucson sector. And I think that it was a pretty informative way to share information, have the roundtable, and go from there.
Yeah, we had a good roundtable. The police chiefs were invited. Mayor McCall was there, myself. But he initially wanted to come down. He had a short window. But I met him, a little history here, I met him in D.C. 8 months ago. And he goes, Sheriff, I want to come see your operation. I've heard about it. And I've heard about all you all working so well together down. I said, come see us anytime. Well, we got it set up, came down, flew in, spent some time with him. So he's a 36-year cop from the feds, and now he's appointed acting commissioner. And I was very impressed with him. He was there willing, open arms to actually do something. And we've shared our frustration. He's not the first visitor that came here to say, hey, we'll make things happen, and nothing happened. So we'll see what happens, but I was impressed with his openness, his welcoming, his insight. I know the police chiefs were, Mayor McCall, and so we'll see what happens. I always say this, people are like, it doesn't do any good. Well, give up hope. Hope to me is confidence. Give up hope, and I guarantee you never move anything. We have to continue these dialogues until something changes, because right now, as we all know, it's not getting better.
And another visit we had this week, which did end up with good results in his first visit, was Matt Gress.
Yeah, so Matt Gress. Who is Matt Gress? People are asking, who is this man? Matt Gress actually was the budget director under Governor Ducey. He's who I worked with for the funding. And kind of a funny story. He came down. Governor Ducey sent him down there and said, go see Sheriff Daniels, see what he needs. So he came down. We went out on operation. We had 8 groups. We're out in the desert. We had our camera out there. We had 8 groups around us. We're looking around the camera. We're hearing, you can't make this up, hearing horns honking from people, the smuggler drivers, honking for him to come out of the brush, jump in the cars. And I remember him asking me, what is that, Sheriff? Oh, that's the drivers. I'll be right back. So to go get those guys. But and then we chased a couple groups. And long story short, he made the comment to me at the end. He goes, Sheriff, what do you need? And I said, we need a collective operational center for all law enforcement, local, state, and federal, working together, sharing a mission, sharing authority, sharing the mission. He made that happen. So yesterday he came down. He's now a representative out of the Scottsdale, Paradise Valley area. Came down, saw the product that we've taken state money to put that together, and he was very, very impressed. So thanks, Matt, for coming here. He's a true advocate of border security, true advocate of law enforcement, public safety, and protecting his citizens, because he said this, it's the number one concern in his district is the border right now. So again, I like him. He's balanced. He's got a lot of common sense. So hopefully he can continue to support us as we go forward.
And you also yesterday had an interesting time because you had a ride-along. And your rider had a photographer, so they were able to take some pictures and video for a project that they're working on that's coming up.
I had Ernie Garcia. Ernie's the owner of Mew Mountain Pest. Mm-hmm. And Ernie, during a Day with the Sheriff charity event, raffle, he won that during the event, Dancing Like the Stars. And Ernie is one of the judges, along with Les from A's. And I'm forgetting her name. I feel horrible. But long story short is we spent the day together yesterday and had a really good time. I told him at the end of the day, I said, hey, stick to being a judge, not a cop, because he's a judge on the fundraiser. But so we had a really good day on it and stuff. And it's really nice to see our community members that have always been really supportive of law enforcement and public safety and big in the community. He's big with the Rotary. I mean, during July 4th, he sets up all the booze, and that's his job over there. He's a marshal from the golf course. He goes out there and make sure everybody's doing the right thing out there. But he's just really involved. Super good guy. He's a homegrown here. But we had a great day. Did a little video with it, so we can sell it next month. Dancing Like the Stars again. So we're going to have a little video we show it.
And so the Dancing with the Stars and the Day with the Sheriff, that actually generated money for them to put back into programs, giving back to the community, right?
It does. So last year alone, not including what we just did with the Wachukans, but last year alone, the 3 or 4 events that I did to do that, we raised for nonprofits over $30,000 to help. And most of them are youth groups, kid groups. So that's why I do it. I mean, I get nothing out of it. There's no incentive. Let me rephrase that. I don't get no financial on it, something like that. So this is my way of giving back too, working with these nonprofits that have a great cause that can help their organizations, but also fulfill the people in need. It's just a great event. So thank you, Ernie, for doing it. And number 2 is we'll be doing another Day with the Sheriff next month there for Dancing Like the Stars. It's always like the stars because we're like the stars. We not are the stars.
Well, your stop of the week actually came from that ride-along.
It did. So with Service to PD yesterday, we had a couple of vehicles that were looking at smuggling yesterday. This is like 7:30 in the morning already. So we got one stopped coming into service yesterday. In the car, they're all packed in there, but they're all wearing white painter shirts. I mean, T-shirts that say, brand of paint, like promo shirts. And it's really kind of sad. They're all sitting in the back, all squished in there in the front. And the driver said, well, yeah, I came down from Flagstaff, and she went all over the place with her story. But she said, we're going to stop and get some donuts. We're going to go get donuts here, which is really fun for cops. But I thought to myself, wow, the stuff they say, it's just amazing. But my point to the whole thing is we're still seeing the smuggling. We got in a pursuit last night. Tombstone, I think, had 2 of them. The night before last, I was listening to Marshall Adams talk about that. I mean, it continues all the time. And it's just sad because the Tucson sector, which is still us, is still, and we talked about this in the meeting yesterday with the commissioner, is still, 150,000? What do you say, 150,000 above any other sector right now? So that's where the impact is. So the optics have always been, the media optics have always been on Yuma and also Texas because it's easy optics. People walking across the border, here I am in Groves, it's easy camera. We don't have easy cameras, but we have very complex cameras when it comes to the vulnerabilities we're facing here in Cochise County. So again, it goes back to got to get fixed. Enough of the political rhetoric. Let's fix it, and I'll say that until it's fixed.
And so you have a safety message, and people maybe don't understand this. As a matter of fact, when we first were planning this, we had a little bit of a thing that came up. So turn signals. There's some dynamic with a turn signals that I didn't know when you started talking. So let us know about turn signals.
Well, first of all, I made a stop yesterday with a turn signal. There's a law that says if you have all your manufactured equipment in a vehicle must work. So you can't get away from a broken turn signal. Say, oh, I had my hand out the window. Yeah, that's a great gesture because it is a legal gesture, but you got to have your manufactured equipment. So that's one thing. Number 2 is you have to use your turn signals when it impacts the flow of traffic. It's a way you're communicating with your fellow drivers. And if you fail to do that, that is a violation. Now, if you're out there 2 in the morning, you're the only one out there, you're not impacting the flow of traffic. But if you have cars behind you, or mainly at an intersection where you don't have a turn signal on and you're coming up to an intersection, people think you're going to come straight through. That slows the traffic, and then you turn, like make a right-hand turn. And there's going into a 2-lane where people split the lanes. That is a big violation of that. So use your turning signal. Let your fellow motorists know what you're doing and what your intent is, and I guarantee you'll have less frustration too.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, Grady. Thank you, Carol, and everybody have a great week.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have the new Chief of Police for Huachuca City, Benjamin Wyatt Berry.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest. Good morning.
Good morning, Grady. Thanks for having me.
Introduce yourself to the folks.
I'm Chief Wyatt Berry with the Huachuca City Police Department. Took over the job, was appointed in May, and had the ceremonial deal in June.
All right, well, welcome to the Huachuca City position, but you have a very wide past of law enforcement experience. Tell us about that.
No, I actually started my career with in the military. I was a military policeman. I did the military for almost 11 years. Once I left from the military, I joined the sheriff's office. In 2003, I was with the sheriff's office and did over 20 years with the sheriff's office and retired from them. While I was with the sheriff's office, I had different jobs that I performed and different assignments with working in narcotics investigations, our patrol supervisor duties, and then I went to Huachuca City, and since then I've now been appointed the chief of police.
That is excellent. So again, congratulations on that appointment. So what do you have, what is your vision for Huachuca City as the chief of police?
I have several goals and visions. I want to build the perception that the public has about the police department. I want to build some of the relationships we have with some of the partner agencies, trying to standardize a lot of the ways that we operate and get everybody up to speed on all the new laws and changes, and make sure that our training is set where it needs to be and that we meet the standards and we exceed those standards.
And also, Huachuca City's got a really cool event coming up. It's actually in a couple of weeks. Tell us about that.
We have our National Night Out event. Same as most other agencies have their National Night Out event. Ours is going to be on the 26th of June from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And we're inviting all the local law enforcement agencies, fire departments, to come out and participate, set up their booths. And then the public's come out and visit and socialize and see some of the equipment and things that we have out there.
It's a good chance to interact with law enforcement and thank them and see them in the face, shake their hand. So National Night Out is a very interesting thing, and Huachuca City always has a really cool one, and it's right there at the police station, right?
Right. It's going to be right in the front of the police department. We're going to have some extra space over towards our library and behind the police department, but that you'll be able to see it when you're driving right down Highway 90. It'll be right there on the side of the road, and the lights will be there, the booths will be there. Stop in and see us.
Cool, and we'll remind everybody on this show and on our social media that that's going to be happening as we get a little closer. But Chief, thanks for coming and talking to us today, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Also in the studio, we have a nonprofit and a little puppy, which is always so cute. So we've got Tammy from Hearts of Gould Animal Haven. Is that what it's?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Gravy. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am awesome.
So tell us about your nonprofit and what you guys do.
So Hearts of Gould Animal Haven is a 501c3. We were established in 2019. We mostly take in moms and puppies just because that's what we're kind of set up for. We work closely with the Sheriff's Office Animal Control and other animal control to take in unwanted puppies and such, and then we get them up to date with all their shots, get them spayed and neutered, and find them their new homes. And this is Miss Judy Jetson. We left Elroy at home because he was being a little naughty. We were concerned that he wouldn't behave as well. So Miss Judy has been behaving and napping a lot. So we decided to bring her, and hopefully she would be on her best behavior, and she has.
She has been, yes. She's been very delightful, very cute too.
Yes.
So how can people get a hold of you guys to adopt a dog or help out? As a matter of fact, what can the community do to help you before you give the contact information?
So we're always in need of funding. Nonprofits are always in need of funding, especially animal. You know, right now everybody's overwhelmed. The shelters are overwhelmed. Rescues are overwhelmed. Everybody's overwhelmed right now. Funding is what we need. I've helped out, recently helped out the Sheriff's Office with the pugs. If anybody was following their Facebook post, the Sheriff's Office found one pug that was suffering from heat exhaustion and was rushed to the vet. I helped out their vet bill, which was over $1,000. I covered that vet bill because that was what was needed. So funding is always an issue. You know, these times are trying. Not everybody has money. And I understand that if you don't have the funding, if you're not ready to adopt, get on our Facebook, share. If you're not ready for a dog, if you're not ready to foster, if you don't have the money to donate, share, because maybe one of your friends is looking, maybe one of your coworkers is looking, maybe one of your family members is looking, and that might be the perfect dog for them. So if you're looking for a way to help out a rescue, maybe not my rescue, maybe another shelter or maybe another rescue, is just continue to share the post, because that's, you know, word of mouth is amazing. So obviously I know, you tell them. But funding is always good. Some people are always, concerned about, is my money going to the right place? We're always looking for donations of dog food. We have an Amazon wish list. You can send dog food right to us. So if you're not, don't want to send an extra couple dollars, send us some dog food. We're always in need of that too. So.
And how can they find where to do that? Is it on your Facebook page?
Yes, on our Facebook page, and I have spent hours and hours, and I did create a website. It's called heartsofgould.org. It's not great and wonderful because I am not tech savvy, but it's a start. So you can always check me out on Facebook or on our website or Gmail. It's heartsofgould@gmail.com.
Okay, and spell Gould for us.
Gould, it's Gould.
Because sometimes people think it's Hearts of Gold.
I know.
Yes.
It's actually my maiden name, so that's it. Just makes it a little bit more special.
Gotcha. Heartsofgould.org.
Yes.
And find them on Facebook.
Yes.
Well, we thank you for coming and bringing Judy with us today.
Thank you so much.
And she wants to be a radio star.
She
you can
does.
tell. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we've got the Sierra Vista Police Department coming in, the Salvation Army on the way. Thanks for coming and talking to us today, Tammy.
Grady.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much, Scott, for being here from the police department.
Hey, good morning.
So you've been having a lot of fun with traffic quizzes.
Yeah, we have. We actually started out in January posting PSAs on certain things, and we've been doing it every month, January, February, March, and all that type of stuff. Different things that we've noticed or information to put out there. So we kind of thought, what's another way that we could possibly get the message out there a little bit more? So we went out to the farmers market and we recorded several instances where we did a traffic quiz with folks and asked them 3-4 questions, and it's been a lot of fun. A lot of great response from the folks that participated in the quizzes, and since then we've posted 3 of these videos, and they run 2 to 3 minutes, but we've had over 12,000 views of those quizzes, which I think is amazing, and people seem to enjoy it. They post, how many questions they got right and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. We've got more quizzes coming. We're going to do this for a while, post something brand new every Wednesday. So look on the Sierra Vista Police and Fire Facebook page every Wednesday morning, and we'll have a new quiz out there.
So are the questions like really intense? Are they hard? How are the questions?
Oh, they're not too hard. They're, we want to have fun with it. We don't want to make it too difficult. You don't have to have a law degree. But I pose the questions because everybody that has an Arizona driver's license is required to know what all the traffic laws are. That's part of the statute of getting that driver's license. So we don't make them too difficult. Some of them are pretty obvious, but some of them are a little bit more difficult than others. I'll ask you a few here in a minute, but the important thing is we really don't want to start writing a whole lot of tickets for some of these violations that we see on a regular basis. We would rather educate, in a fun way, like these traffic quizzes or the PSAs that we put out. So it's a great way also to engage, the public and listen to their concerns. It's fun because I'll ask the questions and then I'll say, hey, like Grady, what's your biggest pet peeve about drivers?
Not using turn signals.
Not using turn signals. Yeah, that's actually come up. Carol, how about you?
Oh, just riding too close to the bumper.
Yep, following too close, which actually is one of the biggest reasons for collisions in our community is people following too close. We had one just yesterday on Fry Boulevard near Avenida Escuela, and actually in that particular case, 2 people were taken to the hospital for it. But yeah, those are the types of things that we ask and all that. But I've got some questions for you if you're game.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's
we have
do
a
it.
Yes.
competition or? All right.
Let's do this.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll try it.
True or false? Stop signs are optional.
False.
correct. That is correct.
Okay, I think we're going to be okay.
Going to be okay. So see, they're not too difficult.
Right.
But yeah, you have to stop at those stop signs. There's no.
Not a suggestion.
Not a suggestion. Yep, that's exactly right. You have to do that. So, all right, let's see. When you see an emergency vehicle approaching with lights and siren on, drivers are required to safely pull to the right lane and stop. True or false? True. That is absolutely true. And that's any emergency vehicle. Police, fire. If you see something coming your way or coming from behind, you're supposed to turn into the right lane or the curb lane and then come to a complete stop. Good. All right. A little bit harder one.
We're ready.
All right. At 60 miles an hour, how many feet per second do you travel? A, 55 feet. B, 66 feet. C, 77 feet. Or D, 88 feet?
B.
You say B?
I say B.
Okay.
I
Grady?
say D.
D? Grady, you are correct. 88 feet per second at 60 miles an hour.
Wow.
Now, the interesting thing to that is if you think about that, at 60 miles an hour, it only takes you 3.41 seconds to travel the length of a football field.
Wow.
So think about that. If you look down to change the radio station or adjust the volume or grab your drink or whatever, that's going to take maybe 2 or 3 seconds to do that. And that's your eyes are off the road, and you've traveled almost the length of a football field.
Wow.
That's a long distance. Long distance. All right, how about 2 more? All right, what does a flashing red light mean? A, stop and wait for the light to stop flashing before proceeding. B, the light must be broken, so there's no reason to stop. Or C, stop and proceed with caution if the intersection is clear of pedestrians or vehicles.
C.
C is correct. Yep, that is correct. Now, we asked this question at one of the videos. Sierra Vista has 2 lights in our community that they call them hawk lights, and they're designed for pedestrians. And what you do is they push the button, it starts to flash yellow, and then it will go solid red, and then after a few minutes it'll go to a flashing red light. And that's when you can stop and then proceed if the crosswalk is clear. Where are those lights located in Sierra Vista?
7th Street and
Cloud 9.
over at Cloud 9.
Yep, over by Highway 90. Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You guys did great. See,
Yay.
these aren't too hard, not too difficult. But like I said, we're having a lot of fun with it. Another video will be posted next Wednesday, and I do believe on the 23rd of this month we're going to be back out at the farmers market with new questions.
Go get your game on at the farmers market.
Yep,
Yeah.
talking with folks and seeing if we can get some more folks to participate for some more videos.
And what's really cool about what you're doing with this project is, it's fun and it's engaging for the community, but it's also a really good educational piece. And you're teaching them not by yelling at them, but by having a good time.
Exactly. That's
great.
exactly, and that's the
That's
whole
perfect.
idea behind it.
Yeah.
Have a little fun, but then get people thinking about traffic safety a little bit more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we thank you for coming and talking to us today, Corporal Borkstadt.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys have a good day.
You bet. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have the Salvation Army.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas and our next guest from the Salvation Army. Good morning.
Good morning, Grady. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. So let's talk about Stuff the Bus. That's already tomorrow.
I know. Isn't it crazy that school is starting in July this year? July 31st is the first day of school. So we are doing the Stuff the Bus at Walmart tomorrow morning, starting at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Any supplies. They've got to be brand new supplies. Even if you don't want to shop at Walmart, we'll just bring your supplies to us. Or if you've gone someplace else, you can also drop them off during that next week at the Salvation Army, which is 180 Wilcox.
So what kind of equipment or supplies are you looking for to put in the bus?
We are looking for folders, dividers, pencils, pens, red, black, and blue, colored pencils, markers, crayons, rulers, all the supplies that the kids need to start school, glue sticks.
Are backpacks like that high level? Is that okay?
Yeah, backpacks are definitely, we definitely need backpacks. And we would really, really love backpacks. We rarely get many because the pricing, even it's gone up so high that last year we didn't receive many backpacks, but the supplies, well, both we need.
Okay, so we're going to stuff the bus, and that's tomorrow. Remind us it's at Walmart. What time?
From 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. unless it gets way too hot.
Okay, gotcha.
But we're planning to push to 2 p.m.
Okay, and then on the 28th you have an event as well.
We do. So this will be our second year partnering with Ginger Salon and Juan's Barber and a couple other salons, and we're doing free haircuts and backpack giveaways.
Okay.
Last year there was some confusion. If you already have gotten a haircut, you can come and get a backpack. There will not be restrictions. And if you have a certain special type of hair, please go on to Ginger's Salon's website and make an appointment for that day, because they need more time. Certain textures of hair take a lot more time, but we don't want to leave any child out, and it's for age 5 to 17.
All right, and that's on the 28th.
That's on the 28th from 11:30 to last appointments 5 p.m. at the Salvation Army, again 180 East Wilcox.
Okay, so for all of these things that you guys are doing, how can people get a hold of you for more information?
That you can also look on our web on our Facebook page. You can call Ginger Salon. You can call Salvation Army. Salvation Army's number is 520-459-8411, and ask for more information. And we'll be posting what we're needing on our Facebook page, as well as when you're going into Walmart, we'll be handing out flyers for the event tomorrow. And
do you need volunteers for any of these activities?
No, I think we're okay right now on volunteers. We're bringing it down a notch. Last year we did a lot of games and it ended up a little bit more chaos, so we're putting a movie on for our friends that are waiting for their appointment, trying to keep as many out of the heat, which is them moving over to having it at our facility instead of Ginger's, because you had to wait in the line outside. This way they can come in a cooler environment, most of them, and just have a good time, as well as get their hair cut and a free backpack.
And the Stuff the Bus tomorrow, where do these, after you've collected them, how do you disseminate these?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Where do the proceeds go? Where do all the supplies go?
They're going to go to the Salvation Army, and we have the volunteers from the salons, and we'll be getting together and packing up the backpacks and getting them all ready for the event the week before.
Okay, excellent. So invite everybody out one more time for tomorrow's event.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll be at Walmart for Stuff the Bus school supplies from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please come join us.
Well, we thank you for coming and talking to us today. We thank you for everything that the Salvation Army does in our community.
Thank you, Grady and Carol.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. Keep up to date. Follow the Cochise County Sheriff's Office on Facebook. And tune in next Friday, 7 a.m. for First Watch right here on KWCD.
30% chance of showers today.